Okay, it's recording now. So, we are convened here today, August 12th, 2021, for a hearing in the matter of Holly Koch versus Marcus Theaters. And this is ERD case number CR 2018-03456. And it's also EEOC case number 26G 2019-00416C. And I'm Administrative Law Judge Roseanne Wasserman, and I've been assigned to preside over this hearing, which we, by the way, are recording on using the WebEx video conferencing software. And okay, so first of all, Ms. Koch, you're here today and you're on your own and you're not represented by an attorney or by anyone, correct? Okay. And in a minute, we'll discuss the issue regarding your name, but for now, I'll just get to a couple of other things. All right, for the respondent.
John Murray. I'm representing the respondent as counsel. I'm also the corporate vice president of human resources for the Marcus Corporation.
Okay, and you have a representative here for the company who will also be testifying?
Yes, with me is Stacy Bobble, the vice president of human resources for the theater division.
I'm sorry, vice president of human resources for the what division?
For the Marcus Corporation theater division.
Oh, right. Okay. And for the record, that's Bobble is B-A-B-L.
Yes.
Oh, okay. In a moment, I'm going to be doing a procedural introduction. But before I do that, I do want to just note for the record the issue regarding the complainant's name. So I just want to try to avoid confusion. On the video screen here, we can see that the name that pops up for Ms. Koch, it shows the last name of Vider, V-I-D-E-R, Holly Vider, which is, as I understand it, a last name that Ms. Koch sometimes uses. But for this case, for a couple of reasons, we are going to be referring to the complainant as Holly Koch, K-O-C-H, because for one thing, that is the name that the complaint was filed under in this case. Also, all of the documents, all of the exhibits that we'll be using in this case, I believe all refer to her with the Koch name. And so, but the other reason we want to differentiate today's complainant, that is Holly Koch, from her sister, whose name is Kelly Vider. And Kelly Vider, at her own hearing, they both, the two sisters, Ms. Koch and Ms. Vider, Kelly Vider, they both filed complaints, I believe on the same day, and basically for the most part, the allegations in their cases and the claims of discrimination in their cases are identical, or very, very similar. And so, but we decided, well, the respondent actually requested that we hold separate hearings rather than consolidate them for hearing, which is fine. But I just want to note that. So when we reference in this case, Vider, or refer to Ms. Vider, we're referring to Kelly Vider, who has, as I said, has her own separate case. And by the way, her case number, which is only one digit off the case number in this case, is CR 2018-03455. Whereas today, the ERD case number for Ms. Koch's case is CR 2018-03456. So just the last number is different. So I think that's it. I know, Mr. Murray, I think this was off the record, we were discussing this. Did I address all of that, or is there anything else?
I hope so. I just want to clarify, Ms. Koch, you have periodically used the names Holly Koch and Holly Vider interchangeably, correct?
Yes, that's how my ID stated, my driver license.
Sure, they both refer to you, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Your driver's license and all your IDs show which name?
Both last names, because the court has it down in the Milwaukee court records in the DMV.
Oh, so actually your official name is now, and we're not gonna, as I
No.
already explained, we're gonna call
Yeah.
you Koch for this case, but you're, just so I do understand, you now, like, if I were to look at your driver's license, it would say Holly Koch Viter.
Yep.
So, but is it hyphenated?
No, I couldn't change it because the DMV won't let me. So that's how the court records had it downtown.
As two separate names?
Yes. Mhm.
Koch Viter. So it looks as if your middle name is Koch now.
Yeah.
But, okay, doesn't matter, but we're gonna call you, again, Holly Koch for this case,
Okay.
for purposes of this case. Okay, so, let me quick do a procedural introduction. What is the background noise I'm hearing?
Oh, that might be me. I can mute.
You can mute, yeah, thank you. All right, anyway, this case involves a complaint that the complainant, Holly Koch, filed with the Equal Rights Division on January 11th, 2019. By the way, I believe there was an earlier complaint, but the so-called perfected complaint that was served on the respondent, that was received by our office on January 11th, 2019. In this complaint against Marcus Theaters, the complainant, Holly Koch, alleged that that Marcus Theaters discriminated against her on the basis of disability, race, and sex in violation of the Wisconsin Fair Employment Act. On June 25th, 2019, an investigator issued an initial determination finding no probable cause to believe that discrimination had occurred as alleged in the complaint. Ms. Koch appealed that determination, and then this case was certified to a hearing on the issue of probable cause. So today's hearing is a hearing on the issue of probable cause. As I also explained during yesterday's hearing for Ms. Koch's sister, Kelly Viter, because it's a probable cause hearing, we don't need to get into any evidence or any testimony regarding anything related to remedies such as back pay, interim earnings, efforts to find other jobs, and all of that, because that would only come in at a hearing on the merits, which will only happen if probable cause is established today. And the burden of proof for establishing probable cause is to show that discrimination probably occurred, and that's a lower burden than the burden of proof at a hearing on the merits. So I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, so the respondent did provide exhibits in advance of the hearing, and we have those prepared, and I believe that everybody has copies printed out except for Ms. Koch, and so when we look at the documents, I will be showing them on the screen. And Ms. Koch, the complainant, did not submit any documents in advance. So anyway, are there any questions or anything anyone wants to say before we get into the testimony?
No.
No.
Okay. So we move into the complainant's case, and so Ms. Koch, you will be testifying, and before you testify, I need to swear you in. And because it's a video hearing and not in person, I'm going to ask you, and you don't normally in person, you would stand up and raise your right hand. Here you can remain seated, but if you could please raise your right hand so I can see it. Thank you. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, just really quickly, I want to, because you're alleging three kinds of discrimination here, disability, race, and sex, I would just want in the record your status with regard to all three of those bases of discrimination. So first of all, what is your race?
White.
And your sex or gender?
Or female.
Okay. And your disability where you've alleged that you have a disability, and what is that condition? We're not going to get into detail now, but just so we know going forward.
I have dyslexia and I have eczema.
Well, and I know in your complaint, you allege learning disability.
Mm-hmm.
And is that what you're now referring to as the dyslexia?
Yeah, it's hard for me to read or spell.
Okay.
So, and when
All
I
right.
have to read stuff on markets, you know,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last thing you said.
and when I had to read stuff at markets, I had to have Kelly to help me, my sister.
Okay. Okay. We will in more detail later, but and then you also mentioned you had
Eczema?
eczema, which you state in your complaint. But I do notice that it was raised during that you had a skin condition that was sensitive to the heat. Is that the eczema?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes. By
Yes.
the way, in normal
Sorry.
conversation, you can say or or
Sorry,
shake your
yeah.
head. But you need to put your answers in words so it's clear for the record. So you did not put that in your complaint, but it was, I guess, evidently it was raised based on reading the initial termination. It was raised. You brought that up during the investigation. And it was mentioned in the findings of the initial determination, your issue regarding skin sensitivity and your request for an accommodation. So we will get into that during the rest of during your testimony. But I just wanted to just sort of touch base very simply on those various claims of discrimination for now. All right. Now I want to get into the chronology of your employment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So first of all, most of this, the basic facts aren't in dispute. And if you don't remember specifically, then I think, Attorney Murray can probably, can speak up and then we can just have the parties agree to certain things if you don't remember them. But what is the date of your hire? When did you first start working at Marcus Theaters?
June 30th, 2017.
I don't know, for some reason, my audio is a little weird. I don't know if it's on your end or my end. It sounds
I don't know.
it almost sounds like you're underwater.
June 30th, 2017.
June 30th, 2017, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are Ms. Attorney Murray, are you hearing Ms. Koch okay?
I'm hearing the cutting in and cutting out too. I suspect that there may be some obstruction over the microphone on the iPad.
Oh, and you mean some kind of internal problem, or maybe there's something on top of it? Like
Ms. Koch, wherever the microphone is on your iPad, can you just make sure you don't have anything over it? If you have a piece of paper or something over it, that can affect how we hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Much better, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, yeah, please try to keep the microphone area clear. That would be helpful, I guess. Okay, so June 30th, 2017, you were hired, and some of this, it isn't in dispute, and I think for purposes of my question, and I know a lot of the facts, are similar to those in yesterday's hearing that your sister had. So just to maybe speed up this questioning a little bit, I'll just kind of ask you certain facts that I think we're all familiar with already, and then you can just, say if that's correct or not. But when you started on June 30th, 2017, you were hired to specifically work at the Bistroplex Theater?
Yes.
And that theater is located in Southridge Mall, is that correct?
Yes.
In Milwaukee County. Okay. And when you started working there, you were hired, was it a combination? What was the name of was your position called usher, food runner?
Washer, cleaning.
Okay, were you first hired? I know your sister testified that she was at the beginning, she was hired as a do cleaning duties, and that's true for you as well?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So at first you did cleaning work, And you cleaned up the theaters after people left, after the movie was over, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Yeah. But then at some point you switched over to become an usher and a food runner.
Yes.
And just right now, in very basic terms, simple terms, what were your duties in that position?
Well, I put the food on the tray and we brought it delivered to the people.
So you put food on tray. You would go into the kitchen area. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Because in this theater, this is the kind of theater where food was served when people were sitting and watching the movie. There would be tables in front of them, and so they could order food and drink. So, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So they would order, somebody watching a movie would order something to drink, something to eat, and then the kitchen would prepare it, and then you would put the food on the tray. You would go to the kitchen, you'd get the food, put it on the tray, and then you'd bring it to the patron, to the person in the theater.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, and then when you worked there at the Bistroplex Theater, your supervisor, could you tell me who your supervisors were, please?
So we had like 5 managers. So I know Amber, Adam, Robert. I think I announced the name wrong, but I know how to pronounce the name right. And there's one other manager, but I don't know the name.
And there was also an Emily?
Yes, Emily too.
Okay. Now, were Adam and Emily kind of higher level supervisors than the others?
Seemed like yes, but looked like Amber too, because I see all 3 of them like a little bit more higher. Amber?
So Amber, okay. Well, with regard to Adam, was it your understanding that he was sort of the guy in charge in the theater?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And I think the parties can agree, because we know this from yesterday's hearing, that Adam's last name, Levetzo, is it? And Mr. Murray, could you please spell that?
Yes, Levettzow. And we're willing to stipulate that he was the general manager at the Bistroplex Theater during Ms. Koch's employment.
Okay, and I think the parties can stipulate that Emily, her last name is Peterson, correct?
Yes.
And that's Pedersen, I believe.
That's correct.
Correct?
Yes.
And her position at that time was what? She was an operations manager?
That's correct.
Okay. So Ms. Koch, I mean, these are things that we discussed yesterday. I don't think you don't dispute any of that, correct? I mean, that's
Right.
yeah. Okay. So, I guess first, you've alleged that you were not accommodated. That the theater, Marcus theaters did not accommodate your alleged disability or disabilities. Could you tell me about that? What, if anything, did you tell the managers there about any medical condition you had? And then what, if anything, did they do? And what did you ask for? First of all, was there a time when you told one of the supervisor, one or more, that you had some kind of medical issue?
Yes, I did. I tell Adam about it. I had a doctor note to him about my eczema, because the shirt I'm wearing, the uniform I had to wear, it kind of rubbing my neck really bad. So I had to wear a scarf around my neck just because it's kind of aggravating me really bad. My eczema did. So I did tell him that. And then when I brought the scarf in a couple of times, Emily, another manager, say, you should not be wearing that scarf. You can't wear that scarf. I'm like, I had Adam the note. It's been Emily and Amber when Adam not been there. So the two other managers would say something to me.
Well, so at some point, Emily said to you, you can't wear the scarf.
Right. I had to wear
Because-
like one, and I've been
Because it
wearing,
wasn't part, excuse me, it was so, because you wore, when you worked there, you wore a uniform, a certain kind of top?
yes,
What was it? What kind of, was it a t-shirt or what kind of,
a button down.
a button-down shirt?
Mhm.
Okay. And it said Marcus Theaters on it or something along those lines? Okay. And so after Emily said, hey, you can't wear this scarf, then you, after that, you went to Adam and you gave him a letter from your doctor saying,
Yes.
and the letter said, from your doctor said something to the effect that because of your, it actually said that you had eczema and because of that, you needed to wear a scarf around your neck?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And was there, so the letter, well, did the doctor's note say why you needed to wear a scarf? I mean, did it say, go ahead.
Because it get really red on my neck, really bad. It's like, it looked like you're having a hickey, but it's the heat. The heat travels on my skin. And
The heat from where? From the kitchen when you,
kitchen.
so was it the kitchen heat that you were saying irritated your neck, or the collar? Wait, let me finish my question. Or the collar of the shirt.
The collar of the shirt irritate my neck with the kitchen. Cause it's like 90 degrees back in the kitchen.
Okay. So you're saying it was a combination in, just a minute. I'm taking some notes. That's why I'm talking. Yeah. So you're saying you believe that you were getting this irritation on your neck, both because the collar of your uniform shirt was rubbing against your neck, but it was also aggravated by the heat that you would be exposed to when you go in the kitchen to pick up the trays?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right. So after you submitted this letter from your doctor saying you should be allowed to wear a scarf because of these issues, did you start wearing a scarf after that? I mean, did you continue to wear a scarf at work?
Yes, for a while. Then I took it off because I couldn't put up with the managers telling me I can't wear this kind, that kind. So I just let it go. So I just took my scarf off and see what happens. But every time I go back in the kitchen, my neck did irritate with the shirt.
Okay, but I thought, okay, after you gave Adam the document or the doctor's letter, didn't he said, oh, okay, I mean, he didn't say, did he say yes? Oh, yes, now I understand you need, I'll allow you to wear a scarf because of the medical issue? Or did he say, sorry, you still can't wear a scarf? Or what he said?
He didn't like the scarf. Well, some of the managers didn't like the scarf. I had a pink.
No, but what did Adam say?
Did Adam say, okay, you can wear a scarf on your neck? That's what he say. And then he didn't like the color. I had a pink one. That's all I had to put around my neck.
He said he didn't like the pink?
Yes. Because we had to
what, excuse me, what color was your uniform shirt?
Black.
Oh, okay. So he said, could you wear a different color? Did he ask that or?
No, he didn't. He's just saying you can wear that, and then the other managers say, do you have any other color scarves? And this is the only thing I have, a light pink one, because my neck felt a little bit better from the light pink. It's like a little squinky kind of one, like a little one, just to wrap around your neck.
Okay, this is part 2 of the recording of the hearing in the case of Holly Koch versus Marcus Theaters. It's August 12th, 2021, case number, ERD case number CR 2018-03456. Okay, so here we are in the new recording. We are in the respondent's case now, and the respondent has one witness, and that's Stacy Bobble, and he's about just a minute here. She is about to testify, but as was the case yesterday, because Ms. Bobble testified at Kelly Viter's hearing as well, I'm going to have to swear you in. If this is a new hearing, so I'm going to swear you in again. So if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Okay, thank you. And again, your name is spelled Stacy-Babl, correct?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Murray.
Ms. Bobble, thank you for your patience this afternoon. I will try not to prolong this any more than necessary. Where do you work?
The Marcus Corporation.
What is your position?
I am the Vice President of Human Resources for the Theaters Division.
Can you explain what the relationship is between the theater division and the Marcus Corporation?
Certainly. So the Marcus Corporation has a couple of divisions that are subsidiaries of that corporation.
Okay. And what does the theater division do?
We own and operate 88 cinemas in 17 states.
Including the Bistroplex and the Southridge Mall.
Correct.
How long have you been the Vice President of Human Resources for the theater division?
Since May of this year.
How long have you been working for Marcus?
Since June of 2018.
So what was your job before your current position?
I was Director of Human Resources.
So now you were the Director of HR, and now you're the, what is the position?
The Vice President.
Vice President. And just Vice President of HR, or there's another?
No, just Vice President of Human Resources.
Oh, of human, okay. All right, thank you.
Now, you were a Director of Human Resources in the theater division as well, correct?
Correct.
So can you generally describe what your responsibilities were at the time you were a director?
Certainly. So I was primarily responsible for the employee relations function for the theaters division.
Okay, what does that mean?
Myself and my two HR business partners would provide coverage over all of the theaters in the division. Managers would call us, contact us, associates would call us and contact us if they had concerns. And then we were responsible for doing investigations and making recommendations on next steps.
Okay, so you did participate in workplace investigations?
I did.
You also said you would make recommendations on next steps. Can you explain that?
Certainly. So depending on the type of investigation and my level of involvement, my recommendation may be stronger. It may have been stronger in some cases than in others. But what I would do is work with the general manager and explain the findings of the investigation and let him or her know what we needed to do as those next steps.
Did you ever recommend discharge?
I did.
Did the managers typically follow whatever recommendation you made?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about some of the bases for discharge, and I'd like to turn to Respondent's Exhibit 3, page 27, which is, I believe, ERD 233.
Okay, I have to share the screen.
I don't know that you do, because Ms. Bobble has the printed.
Yeah, I guess we've talked about this document already, but because so that Ms.
right.
Koch can follow along.
You're right.
That's,
You're right. You're right.
that would be the reason. I was hoping everyone would have the copies, but since Ms. Koch doesn't, I guess we should look at the documents on the screen. So just a minute, it's share the screen. Gotta do
So let's
that.
start with page 1 of the exhibit before we skip to the page I was referencing.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what exhibit did you want to look at? R3. Okay.
R3, yes, please.
R3. We already, that's already in the record.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, what page did you want to go to?
Well, let's go to the first page for a second. Ms. Bobble, I just want to confirm that this is the associate handbook that's in effect for Wisconsin Theater Associates in 2017.
Yep, that's what it looks to be. Yes.
Okay. Now I'd like to go to page 27, which is ERD 233.
Is this the right page?
233. You're on 220.
Oh, yeah. Got it. I thought I got there too soon. All right, so.
Okay, this is
here we
good.
are.
I want to focus on the section that begins with the heading unacceptable associate behavior. Below that, ethical and honesty issues. The first two bullet points. Can you generally summarize the prohibited conduct addressed in the first two bullet points there?
Yes, I mean, this certainly covers, I couldn't list every situation that it covers, but in terms of dishonesty, unethical behavior, what I would say is anytime that somebody would present something to the manager in benefit for themselves, it would be dishonest behavior.
And that's when you talk about presenting something to a manager, that's falsification of company records?
Correct. That would be the second bullet for the falsification. But even if they made a statement, that would fall under the first bullet, the dishonesty.
During the time you were director, was there ever a time when you did not recommend discharge for somebody who falsified company records?
No, I actually take a pretty hard stance on that and have in my entire career.
And I'm not interested in your entire career. I'm just focusing on the time that you were working as a director for Marcus.
Yes.
Can you think of, other than Ms. Koch and Ms. Viter, can you think of other times you recommended that course of action for that infraction when you were a director?
Yes.
Let's talk specifically about Ms. Koch. At this point, I'd like you to turn to Respondent's Exhibit 4. Actually, let's change that. Let's go to Respondent's Exhibit 5. I'm going to start on the first page, which is ERD 250.
Okay.
Ms. Bobble, have you seen ERD 250 before?
I have.
What is it?
This is the cover page of a letter we received from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
How did it first come to you?
It was forwarded to me from the Bistroplex Cinema, from the manager there. They stated they had received it directly from the department.
Okay. Now, when you received this first page, first of all, the exhibit has 4 pages with it. Were all 4 pages part of what you first received?
Yes.
And when you first received Exhibit 5, what was your understanding of why the department had faxed this to the Bistroplex?
My understanding was that we needed to verify the reference letters or the letters of verification were accurate, according to what the Department of Health Services was requesting.
And the reference letters you're talking about are ERD pages 251 and 252?
Yes.
We could turn to 251 first.
Oops, sorry.
Okay.
This is 251. There we go.
Yep. So, Ms. Bobble, when you saw page ERD 251, what was your understanding of what it was?
What it appeared to be is a letter of employment verification from someone allegedly being one of our general managers.
You're talking about Emily Peterson there?
Correct.
Did Emily Peterson was the general manager where?
She was at our DePere location in Missouri at the time.
And I will talk about those specific dates in a moment, but before I do, did she ever work at the Bistroplex?
She did.
As what?
She was an operations manager.
Okay. Now, you said it's a reference letter. Substantively, what did you understand the substance of ERD 251 to be? What is it conveying?
That Ms. Koch had left, that her last date of employment was March 30th of 2018.
Now, this is not the only letter purportedly from Ms. Peterson that the department provided you, was it?
It was not.
Please look at ERD 252. This also is a letter which purports to be from Emily Peterson, correct?
Correct.
What was the substance of this letter?
This letter appeared to state again that Ms. Koch's employment had ended on March 30th, but that she had returned for a short period of time from June to August of 2018, but then was no longer employed. So a break in service.
Okay. So when you received the fax and the two letters from the department, it was your understanding that they were asking you to verify the information we've just reviewed in pages 252, 251, and 252.
Yes.
We offer Respondents Exhibit 5.
Okay, any objection? If not, then Respondents Exhibit number 5 is received.
So, Ms. Bobble, after you had reviewed the pages that comprise Respondents Exhibit 5, what did you do?
I immediately went into our human resource information system to check the dates of employment for Ms. Koch.
Okay, is that an online system, a digital system?
It is. It's an online system.
And what is
Okay.
the name of the system again?
It's PeopleSoft is the actual.
It's
software.
PeopleSoft, and you call it the what information system?
It's a human capital management system or human resource information system, interchangeable.
Okay.
So let's start again. You checked it for what purpose?
To verify the dates of employment as were written in the letter.
Okay.
Both letters, sorry.
Correct, the two letters.
Yeah.
And when you looked at it, what did you see?
I saw that Ms. Koch was still employed with us and had not had any breaks in service.
So her employment did not end either in March of 2018 or in August of 2018?
Correct.
Okay. So the first thing you did was look at this online personnel file, look at Ms. Koch's dates of employment. Did you do anything else to investigate what you had received from the department?
Yes, I reached out to Ms. Peterson.
Okay. How did you do that?
I had emailed her.
Why email?
At the time, she was on leave of absence and she was in Missouri. So I felt it was best to just contact her via email. Plus, I'd have written record.
Okay, let's go back and tighten up those dates then. I guess where I'd start is Respondents Exhibit 9.
Okay, just a minute.